Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts, your assumptions, and your beliefs shape the reality you walk in. Most people live as though life is happening to them, as though they are powerless against circumstances. But that is an illusion. You are not a victim of life. You are its creator. Every situation, every event, every interaction is molded by the state of mind you dwell in. The moment you accept this truth, you reclaim your power. The world does not move independently of you, it moves in response to you. If you believe that life is a struggle, you will encounter hardship at every turn. If you assume that people cannot be trusted, you will attract deception. But the opposite is also true. If you believe you are worthy of success, opportunities will unfold before you. If you assume you are deeply loved, love will find its way into your life in ways you never imagined. Your assumptions are not passive thoughts. They are the foundation upon which your world is built. There is no force outside of you shaping your destiny. The power you seek, the change you desire, it all begins within. You must first be it in consciousness before you can experience it in form. The moment you shift your state of mind, reality adjusts itself to match. Nothing in the external world can remain the same when you have changed internally. Most people wait for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel different. They wait for wealth to feel abundant. They wait for love to feel complete. But they have it backwards. You must first assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and then the world will conform to that assumption. Feel rich before the money comes, and it will come. Feel loved before love arrives, and it will appear. The unseen forces that shape reality do not respond to doubt or hesitation. They respond to certainty. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. Every thought repeated, every belief held onto, is planting a seed. Some people unknowingly plant seeds of fear, lack, and limitation, and then wonder why they keep reaping struggle. But the mind does not judge what you plant, it only brings forth what you sow. The question is, what are you planting? Are you nurturing thoughts of power, success, and joy? Or are you feeding thoughts of doubt, scarcity, and failure? Everything in your life right now is the result of past assumptions. But here is the truth that will set you free. You can change it. At any moment, you can decide to shift your beliefs. You do not need permission. You do not need proof. The proof will come after you have stepped into the feeling of your new reality. The moment you start to assume a new state of being, the world will begin to reshape itself around you. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities will open up where there were once roadblocks. Solutions will present themselves effortlessly. What once seemed impossible will suddenly feel within reach. This is not magic, it is law. The world must reflect the state of consciousness you consistently hold. It is not enough to think about change. You must become it. You must walk, speak, and move as though you are already the person you desire to be. Not as a hopeful wish, but as an unshakable knowing. There is a difference between wanting something and assuming it is already yours. The one who wants is acknowledging lack. The one who assumes possession moves with confidence, and the world rearranges itself to align with that belief. Doubt is the only thing that can stand in your way. If you second-guess your power, if you waver between belief and fear, you delay the manifestation. But when you stand firm in your assumption, when you refuse to be swayed by appearances, reality bends in your favor. This is why faith is so powerful. Not because it is blind, but because it refuses to acknowledge limitations. You must live as though your desires are already fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. See yourself as the person you wish to become. Speak as them, think as them, act as them, and soon you will look around and realize the world has caught up to the truth you already knew within. When you step into the fullness of who you are, the world takes notice. You do not have to announce your presence, prove your worth, or seek validation. Your very existence, your energy, speaks for itself. The light within you has always been there, but now it is shining so brightly that it cannot be ignored. Some will be drawn to it, recognizing the strength, confidence, and certainty radiating from you. Others will feel unsettled by it, not because you have wronged them, but because your light exposes their own fears and insecurities. You were never meant to remain hidden. You were not designed to shrink yourself to fit into spaces too small for your greatness. The power within you is meant to be expressed, to be seen, to be felt. And now, whether you realize it or not, that power is making itself known. You may have noticed how people react differently to you. Some admire you without knowing why. Some are inspired by your presence, and some resist you, attempting to challenge or diminish what they cannot understand. But none of it is truly about you. It is about what your light reveals. Light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines. And in doing so, it transforms everything around it. You do not need to convince anyone of your value. You do not need to defend yourself against those who feel threatened by your presence. Their discomfort is not your burden to carry. It is merely a sign that your elevation is real, that your growth is undeniable. Those who are meant to walk with you will celebrate your light, and those who cannot handle it will fall away. There was a time when you may have dimmed your light to make others comfortable, a time when you played small, when you hid parts of yourself for fear of standing out too much. But those days are over. You are being called to rise, to step fully into the power that has always been yours. You are not the same person you once were. The growth you have experienced, the lessons you have learned, the wisdom you have gained, it all shines through you now. You cannot go back to who you used to be, nor should you want to. People can feel when someone carries themselves with certainty. They recognize when someone knows their worth, when someone moves through life with an unshakable confidence that does not require permission. That is what makes you stand out. It is not arrogance, it is presence. It is the quiet but undeniable knowing that you are exactly who you are meant to be. Not everyone will celebrate your rise, and that is okay. Some will try to attach themselves to your light, hoping to benefit from it without doing the inner work themselves. Others will resist you, attempting to pull you back into the version of yourself they were once comfortable with. Do not be discouraged. Their reaction is not a reflection of your worth, but of their own internal battles. Your job is not to explain yourself. Your job is to continue shining. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be ordinary. Everything about you, your mind, your spirit, your presence, was designed to leave an impact. And now that impact is undeniable. The more you embrace your power, the more magnetic you become. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances will be drawn to you effortlessly. You will no longer have to chase what is meant for you, because what is meant for you will recognize you. And I'm not going to, this is the moment where you let go of old fears, old doubts, and old limitations. You no longer need to ask for permission to be great. You no longer need to wait for approval. The world already sees it. The world already knows it. The only question is, will you own it? Will you walk in it without hesitation, without apology? Those who are meant to see your light will see it. Those who are meant to rise with you will rise. And those who cannot handle your presence will remove themselves. That is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to be who you were always meant to be. You have stepped into a new level of power, and now the world is simply catching up. There is a power within you that cannot be taken, diminished, or destroyed. It is the essence of who you are, the light that burns from within, and once you fully realize it, no force in this world can dim it. The only thing that ever kept you from seeing your true power was the illusion of doubt, the false belief that you needed permission to shine. But now you are waking up. Now you are beginning to see that nothing outside of you has control over the brightness of your own being. People may try to silence you, overlook you, or make you question your worth, but they have no real power over you unless you give it to them. The opinions of others, their judgments, their fears, none of it defines you. The moment you stop seeking validation from outside sources, the moment you decide that your worth is not up for debate, you step into a level of confidence that no one can shake. A fully realized light does not ask for permission to shine. It simply shines. There will be those who feel uncomfortable around you when you step into this knowing, not because you have done anything wrong, but because your presence reminds them of the work they have not yet done. Your growth will reveal their stagnation. Your clarity will expose their confusion. Your certainty will unsettle those who are still ruled by fear. But that is not your burden to carry. You are not responsible for making others feel comfortable with the power you are meant to embody. You will notice that some people who once supported you may pull away. Some who once encouraged you may suddenly grow distant. Understand that this is not rejection, it is revelation. It is the natural consequence of rising beyond the limits that once bound you. When you grow, when you elevate, when you evolve into your highest self, you shift into a frequency that not everyone is ready to meet. And that is okay. You are not here to dim yourself for the sake of others. A fully realized light does not shrink in the presence of darkness. It does not lower itself to avoid standing out. It does not beg to be understood. It simply exists in its fullness, knowing that those who are meant to see it will see it. Those who are meant to be inspired by it will rise with it, and those who cannot handle it will naturally fall away. This is the way of the universe. The ones who are truly aligned with you will never ask you to be less than what you are. You must remember that the only thing that can limit you is your own belief. If you allow the fears and doubts of others to influence your mind, if you begin to question your own worth because of their insecurities, then you are giving away the very power that was always yours. But the moment you decide, with absolute certainty, that you will no longer dim yourself for anyone, the world will shift around you. Doors will open, opportunities will flow, and the right people will gravitate toward you effortlessly. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be silent. Everything about you, your presence, your voice, your essence, was designed to leave an impact. And now you are stepping into that reality. You are no longer waiting for permission to be great. You are no longer seeking approval to walk in your power. You are no longer afraid of being seen. Those who try to bring you down are only revealing their own limitations. They cannot touch you. They cannot take what is divinely yours. They cannot stop what has already been set in motion. The only way they win is if you believe their words, if you accept their doubts as your own. But once you reject that illusion, once you stand firm in the knowing of who you are, their words lose all power. Their attempts to dim your light cannot be dimmed, because a fully realized light cannot be dimmed. This is your time. This is your moment to embrace everything you were meant to be. You have walked through the fire, you have faced the storms, and yet you are still here, shining brighter than ever. Nothing has been able to break you. Nothing has been able to stop you. And now you are finally seeing what was true all along. You were unstoppable from the very beginning. Everything you desire already exists. The version of you who has achieved it, who has stepped into the life you dream of, is already real. The only thing separating you from that reality is your assumption, your belief in its inevitability. Most people wait for evidence before they believe, but that is not how creation works. You must believe first, assume first, embody first, and then the world will shift to match your inner state. You are always living in a state, whether you realize it or not. Some live in a state of lack, constantly searching, hoping and waiting for change. Others live in a state of certainty, knowing that what they desire is already theirs. The difference between them is not external circumstances, but internal conviction. The ones who achieve what they desire do not wait for proof. they become the proof. They think, feel, and act as if their success is already established, and by doing so, they align themselves with the reality where it is true. Your mind is the architect of your experience. If you can see yourself already possessing what you seek, if you can step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then you have activated the most powerful force in existence. The world is not separate from you, it is responding to you. It rearranges itself according to the assumptions you persist in. When you live in the end result, you bypass doubt, fear, and hesitation. You are no longer questioning if it will happen because in your mind, it already has. Most people struggle because they are waiting. They wait for circumstances to improve before they feel abundant. They wait for love before they feel worthy. They wait for success before they see themselves as successful. But waiting only reinforces the absence of what is desired. When you wait, you tell the world, I do not have it yet, and the world responds by keeping it out of reach. The key is to stop waiting and start living as though it is already done. The feeling of fulfillment is the bridge to your new reality. It is not enough to merely visualize or affirm your desires, you must feel them. You must wake up every day and carry the energy of someone who already has what they seek. If you want to be successful, how would you think, speak, and move if you had already made it? If you want love, how would you feel and behave if you were already cherished? The more you embody that state, the faster reality conforms. Many doubt this because they are too focused on the present moment. They look around, see the lack, and assume that reality is fixed. But reality is never fixed. It is fluid, always changing in response to your dominant assumptions. What you see today is merely a reflection of past thoughts. If you want to see a new reality, you must persist in a new assumption, even if the world has not yet caught up. The outer world is a delayed mirror of the inner world. Doubt is the only thing that delays manifestation. The moment you question whether your desire will come, you step out of the end result and back into uncertainty. This is why faith is crucial. Not faith in something outside of you, but faith in the power of your own consciousness. When you fully accept that what you desire is already done, when you refuse to entertain doubt or fear, the world will have no choice but to conform. Time is irrelevant when you live in the end. Some things manifest instantly, others take time, but time is only an illusion of the mind. The more you focus on when something will happen, the more you push it away. When you truly know that something's already yours, you stop checking for it. You stop worrying about how long it will take. You stop questioning. That is when it happens, effortlessly and naturally. Every great achievement, every success story began with someone who first lived in the end. They saw themselves as already having what they sought, even when the world told them otherwise. They did not let temporary obstacles shake their belief. They persisted, they remained unwavering. And in doing so, they brought the unseen into reality. This is the truth most overlooked. You do not need to fight, struggle, or force things into place. You only need to assume the feeling of already having it. The moment you do, the world must align. It is not wishful thinking, it is law. And once you master this, once you stop hoping and start knowing, nothing will be out of reach. There comes a moment when you realize that you are enough exactly as you are. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone because your worth is inherent. It is not determined by what others think of you, nor is it something you must earn through struggle or validation. The idea that you must prove yourself is an illusion created by the world. A world that thrives on making people believe they are incomplete, that they need to do more, be more, or have more to be seen, loved, or respected. But the truth is, the moment you stop trying to prove yourself, you step into your true power. Many people spend their lives chasing approval, trying to show the world that they are capable, valuable, and deserving. They work tirelessly, overextend themselves, and often compromise their own happiness in the process. But no matter how much they do, it never feels like enough. The reason is simple. When you seek validation from the outside, you give away your power. You place your self-worth in the hands of others, and in doing so, you make yourself dependent on their opinions, their recognition, and their approval. But the truth is, you were never meant to live by someone else's standards. The moment you decide that you no longer need to prove yourself, you free yourself. You stop explaining yourself to people who do not understand you. You stop trying to make others see your value. You stop waiting for permission to be great. You begin to realize that your existence alone is proof enough. You are not here to convince anyone of who you are. You are here to embody it, to know it so deeply that it does not matter if others see it or not. There will always be people who doubt you, misunderstand you, or fail to recognize your greatness. That is not your burden to carry. The need to prove yourself stems from the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough. But when you realize that nothing outside of you can define you, that fear dissolves. You no longer look for acceptance because you have already accepted yourself. You no longer seek approval because you already approve of who you are. This is the state of true freedom. Think of the most powerful, successful, and inspiring people in history. They did not waste time proving themselves. They did not explain their every move or seek validation from those who doubted them. They simply became who they were meant to be. They trusted their vision, even when others could not see it. They walked boldly even when the world questioned them. They did not try to convince anyone. They let their lives speak for themselves. The moment you stop proving yourself, you step into a calm, unshakable confidence. You begin to move differently, speak differently, and carry yourself with a quiet certainty. People will notice. Some will admire you, others may feel intimidated, but that is not your concern. Your only concern is staying true to yourself, standing firm in your knowing, and refusing to shrink to make others comfortable. Some may say that if you do not prove yourself, you will go unnoticed, but that is not true. The ones who are meant to see you will see you. The right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances will naturally align with you when you no longer seek them from a place of need. The less you try to convince others of your worth, the more they will recognize it. The less you chase validation, the more respect you will command. This is the paradox of power. When you stop needing it from others, it comes to you effortlessly. There is nothing you need to prove because you are already everything you need to be. Your presence alone is enough. Your essence is enough. You do not need to justify yourself, defend yourself, or seek permission to be who you are. The moment you decide to embrace this truth, the world around you changes. You attract the right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities, not by proving, but by being. Let go of the need to explain. Let go of the need to convince. Let go of the need to be validated. Simply know who you are and move through life with the certainty that you are already enough. Those who are meant to recognize your greatness will, and those who do not were never meant to. There are no coincidences in this universe. Everything unfolds in perfect order, leading you exactly where you need to be. The fact that you are here reading these words is not random. This message has reached you because something within you was already calling for it. You may not have been consciously aware of it, but deep inside, your soul has been searching, seeking, longing for confirmation, for understanding, for a sign that you are on the right path. And here it is. Life has a way of guiding us, whispering to us through moments, encounters, and messages that appear just when we need them most. Often we dismiss these signs, thinking they are mere chance, but nothing is ever truly accidental. There is a force at work, something greater than logic, greater than reasoning, orchestrating every step you take. You were meant to receive these words at this exact moment because they hold something you need, an answer, a reminder, or a push toward the next stage of your journey. Perhaps you have been struggling with doubt, wondering if you are moving in the right direction. Maybe you have felt lost, uncertain, waiting for clarity. Or maybe you have been questioning your own power, your own ability to change your reality. But you must understand, everything you seek is already within you. This message is not here to give you something you do not already have. It is here to awaken what has been dormant inside of you all along. You have always had the ability to shape your reality, to choose your destiny, to step into the life you were meant to live. The problem is not that you lack power, but that you have forgotten it. The world conditions us to doubt ourselves, to believe that we must struggle, that we must wait for permission, that we must follow a certain path to be worthy of the life we desire. But none of that is true. The only permission you ever needed was your own. The only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. Right now, you are at a crossroads. You can continue as you have, letting fear, doubt, or uncertainty dictate your steps. Or you can decide right now that everything changes. You can choose to embrace the power that has always been yours. You can choose to trust that the desires placed in your heart were never random. They were planted there for a reason. Your vision, your dreams, your deepest aspirations are not accidents. They are glimpses of what is possible for you, waiting for you to claim them. Many people spend their lives waiting for a sign, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone to give them the green light to move forward. But the truth is, the sign has always been there. It is not something external. It is the knowing inside you, the feeling that there is more, that you are meant for something greater. And that feeling, that quiet but persistent voice within, is not something to be ignored. It is the very thing leading you to your highest potential. You must understand that what you seek is already seeking you. The moment you desire something deeply, you set a chain of events in motion, drawing it toward you in ways you may not yet understand. But here's the key. You must believe it is already done. You must live as if it is already yours. Think as if it is already happening. Move as if it is already unfolding. Because it is. The only thing standing between you and your desire is the belief that it is separate from you. The moment you see it as yours, it becomes yours. So, why did this message find you? Because you needed to remember. You needed to wake up to the truth of who you are, to the power you have always held. This is not the beginning of your journey. It is a continuation. Everything you have been through has led to this moment, and this moment will lead to the next. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and the path ahead of you is already unfolding. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust that you are not alone in this, that the universe, God, or whatever name you give to the divine, has been guiding you all along. Every struggle, every lesson, every victory has shaped you into who you are today, preparing you for what is next. And what is next is entirely up to you. You have a choice in this moment. You can take these words, let them stir something within you, and move forward with newfound certainty. Or you can dismiss them, return to what is familiar, and wait for another sign to come. But if you are here, if you have read these words and felt something shift inside you, then you already know. You are ready. The time is now.